How does prayer fit with the idea that God has a plan for us? When we pray, are we asking for miracles? God's will or plan for our life is our salvation. Full stop. That's His macro will. That will never change. His micro will, what degree we choose, or what diploma we choose, or where we want to work, that is up to us. He allows for a dynamic participation in this. And ideally, our micro will should be working towards the macro will, which is salvation. God hasn't chosen to write out all of history with His hand. He leaves a few blank pages for us to write a few things in it ourselves. Now, how does this all come to play, the macro will and micro will? And there's a very, like for example, who do we choose as friends? What degree, study, work? How do we work towards the macro and micro will? The fact, how do we put them both in one page? C.S. Lewis has a very good example of this. He talks about how our lives, he likens it to a play. There is a scriptwriter who writes a play with a set theme, but there are certain acts in this play which are empty and that the actors can actually improvise. And that's the same with us. There is a set theme for our life, which is our salvation, but there are a few acts there where we can actually change the events of the time because of our choices, and ideally these smaller choices should contribute to our salvation and the salvation of those around us. If we really pray and connect with God, who is beyond time and space, then my prayers of midday can actually affect the events of the morning. Sometimes some of these events have been decided from the beginning of time, but my prayers of today have been taken into consideration, as hard as it is to grasp that concept.